What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everyone who support the platform. Much love, much love, much love. If you are in the building this morning and you can hear me clearly, please drop a one in the chat. Please drop a one in the chat. Please drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat. If y'all can hear me clearly, just drop a one in the chat so we can get right into the show. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay, I see some ones. I see some ones. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. And of course, we are back right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross. Of course, good morning to everyone. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. We're back. We got another great show lined up for you guys this morning. Do me a favor, hit that like button, y'all. Double tap y'all screens if y'all are here through the vertical feed. Smash the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Also, share the show. Share the show, y'all. Share this show. Share this show. Share it on your community tabs, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitters, your Discord servers. Do me a favor and please share the show. Please share the show. So let's see who's in the building. Let me shout everyone out. And then we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it this morning. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Let's see who's in the building. Let's see who's in the building. And then we're going to get to the show. Shout out to my man Mark in the building. Peace, Mark. Shout out to my man Mark McJoy on a pull-up. Appreciate you, Mark. Shout out to my brother Bob in the building. What up, Bob? Salute to you, my brother. Shout out to Bob in the building. Shout out to Miss New York Nikki, baby. Hey, Miss New York Nikki, good morning. Good morning to you. I appreciate you always coming through and holding it down as a lovely lady Maj. Shout out to Miss New York Nikki, baby. Salute. Good morning, Love Wisdom. Shout out to Miss Love Wisdom in the building. Good to see you, Love Wisdom. I appreciate your support. Shout out to Miss Rain and Woman in the building. Hey, Rainer. We got a top lovely lady mod in here this morning. She says, oh, what a Friday treat. Hey, DS1 and everyone. Shout out to you, Miss Rain and Woman. I appreciate you. Shout out to Miss Rain and Woman in the building. A top lovely lady mod. Good to see you, Miss Rainer. And happy Friday, man. Happy Friday to everyone. Shout out to my man Astro. What up, Astro? Peace, my brother. Salute to you. Happy Friday, bro. Shout out to Miss L'Oreal in the building. Hey, Miss L'Oreal, we got two top lovely lady mods in here already. Good to see you, Miss L'Oreal. Shout out to you. I appreciate you always coming through and holding it down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss L'Oreal. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. See who else is in the building. Shout out to Ebo on a pull up. What up, Ebo? Salute to you, my brother. Okay. I got you. Shout out to Larry Vaughn in the building. Good morning, my brother. Salute. Happy Friday, man. Appreciate the pull up. Good morning, Miss Keita T. Grand rising to you. We got another lovely lady mod in here this morning. Shout out to you, Miss Keita T. I appreciate you. We got 4 lovely lady mods in the building thus far. Shout out to you, ladies. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone. And shout out to my man Bob on the last show for his student tuition donation. I appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to my man Bob. Salute, Bob. Salute. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all see the show. Y'all see the show. We're going to continue on with this conversation. We're going to continue on with this conversation. Astro says, thinking about going back to my old name, Devastation. I couldn't remember it for nothing. Shout out to my man Astro, man. Y'all see the show. Y'all see the show. Breaking the cycle of generational pain in men. See, we're going to continue down this conversation of breaking the generational curses in our lives as men. Because again, a lot of us were called to be curse breakers. A lot of us men. A lot of us men who experience some of the most devastating things in life. Experience a lot of letdown, a lot of disappointment. You know, a lot of people disappoint us. A lot of people don't come through for us. Empty promises, all of those things. All of those things. But the curse breakers are the ones who experience it the harshest. And they're taught and they're conditioned to just deal with it. To just deal with it. And on a past few shows, we've been speaking on something called repression. And something that I remember I said was repression leads to depression. Thank you, Keita T. I appreciate you. Repression in men leads to depression in men. And everybody handles depression differently. Just like everyone handles hurt differently. Everyone expresses, and I'm speaking about men in particular. Every man expresses hurt, anger differently. They all display it differently. So for some people, anger can be when people these are the common ways that a lot of men deal with anger. They either become reckless or they become recluse. Let me say that again. When men have to repress their anger, Bob says it feels like oppression. When men have to repress their emotions, they either become reckless over time or they become recluse. And I want to let y'all know that either one of those choices are not healthy. Because again, little boys are not taught how to properly deal with their emotions and how to properly process them and to express them. Shout out to my brother, Papa Flocka. Good morning, my brother. Salute. Y'all have to understand this. See, a lot of y'all just be going through life and letting life live y'all. So a lot of times y'all don't pay attention to stuff. A lot of people don't sit there and pay attention to how a little boy is conditioned. Half the time when boys are being raised, their feelings are never even considered. They're never considered. There's never a process where this boy's feelings are examined, analyzed, and he's taught how to deal with them. There's no classes for this for little boys. A boy's feelings doesn't even exist in the house. You see? How he feels about what's going on around him, that is never considered about a little boy. What up, Queen Shay? Good morning to you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Miss Queen Shay. But that little girl, that daughter, her feelings are always at the forefront of everything. Pay attention to this, because this is how boys grow up, and they express their feelings through being reckless, or they become recluse. See, everybody wants to talk about how the woman feels, how the little girl feels. Well, what about that little girl? Well, what about that woman? What about that little boy? See, nobody talks about that little girl's brother. See, nobody don't talk about that. See, the male conversation and how boys are treated and how boys are conditioned, that conversation has always been taboo. Because again, we're taught as boys that nothing is wrong with you and nothing happened to you. And if something happened to you, you don't say nothing about it. You let it go. This is how boys are taught. Oh, it wasn't that bad. This is the stuff that we're heard from little boys. And then whenever we make something about ourselves, we're told that we're wrong to do that. So I can't feel the way I feel because I feel that way, because I'm a man. So my feelings can easily be ignored, can easily be misunderstood, can easily be misconstrued. It's easy to do this to a man. Because a lot of times when men are talking, people don't pay attention. You know what people pay attention to? When I'm angry. See, you want to pay attention when I'm angry. You don't pay attention when I'm calm. You're not listening when I'm talking to you in a calm manner. When my tone and my octaves are low, you're not listening. When I'm sitting there breaking stuff down to you bit by bit, you're not listening. But you listen when I raise my voice. That's when you hear me. That's when you hear me. See? But when I'm talking to you calm and I'm breaking things down to you, you seem to never get it. You don't get it. But when my tone change, when my demeanor change, now all of a sudden, you're aware of how I feel. All of a sudden, you didn't recognize what I was saying to you the first 30 minutes of the conversation. But when the mood changed, you recognize that. You recognize, see, that is a common thing on how people relate to men. You only try to relate to me through conflict. You only try to relate to me through confusion. You don't want to relate to me when things are calm. You're not listening when I'm not upset. See, that's when you're deaf. See, there's something called being tone deaf. See, a lot of y'all be tone deaf until the tone changes. See, then when my tone changed, now you can hear. Now you can hear. You couldn't hear me when I was calm. You couldn't hear me. It was hard for you to get it. But when I scream it at you, you get it. Pay attention to that, fellas, because all of this is a form of gaslighting. Women will get. Do you know some women don't even know that they be gaslighting you? It's called gaslighting. They will subtly gaslight you. You didn't hear nothing I said until my tone changed. So up until my tone changed, you was deaf. You was deaf. But when my tone changed, now you starting to get what I'm saying. No, that's called manipulation. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You're picking and choosing what you want to pay attention to. That's called selective hearing. That's what this is called. This is called selective hearing. Somebody get LaShawna up out of here. We not here to debate with we're not here to debate with women this morning. Get her out of here. Because some of y'all want to come up here and debate. I don't want to debate with you. I don't care about what you think. Somebody get LaShawna out of here. Just go ahead and get her an Uber. Get her a nice Uber. Somebody get her an Uber. We ain't doing that this morning. Shout out to Miss Country Girl Queen in here. Good to see you, sis. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. We got 6 lovely lady mods in here. Shout out to my man Third in the building. What up, Third? Somebody go ahead and get her up out of here. What up, FTC? We got people that want to come in here and troll and want to start debates. I'm not here to debate with you, woman. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to men. That's y'all. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm in here talking to women and she want to start an argument because what I'm saying to men. Go sit your ass down somewhere. That's the problem right there. I'm not even talking to women. I'm talking to men. I'm talking to men. And she want to argue with me because what I got to say to men about women and because she don't disagree with it, as if I'm talking to her son or talking to her man. Go about your business. Thank you, Keita T. I appreciate that. Thank you, Keita T. Yeah. Thank you, Queen Shay. Thank you. Yes, get her a nice lift. Lift her out of here. Exactly. That's what we're gonna do. But back to the show. Back to the show. Again, boys are conditioned like this. So it transitioned into us being men. What up, Party Artie? Shout out to my man Artie in the building. Salute, Artie. And while Nikki says, this is for anyone that thinks it's safe to troll here. Welcome to the chat. Support the channel. It is appreciated. Comments have to be respectful and reasonable. Respond to the topic at hand. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. New York Nikki, baby. I appreciate that. But this conditioning that is put on men, where we're taught to repress, it leads to 2 ways that men deal with their issues. They either avoid them or they run through them. This is where you get the man who's a shell of himself versus the man who's aggressive, or what they want to call aggressive or mean. Those are the results of how he was conditioned to deal with his issues. See, don't think that every man who's dealing with pain, right? Or who's dealing with anger is going to always be aggressive. No. Some men get so mad, you know what they do? They check out. They totally check out. You have men who've dealt with so much anger in their life that now they're a shell of themselves, meaning they have no ambition, they have no drive, they have no emotion to nothing. What is emotions? Energy and motion. That's all emotions is. So you have some men who've been so emotionally distraught, they don't want to work. They don't have the energy to get up and go to work. They don't have the energy to get up and do man shit anymore because of what life and the hand that life has dealt them. And they feel safe not trying anymore. See, I'm here to break it down from a psychological perspective. They don't feel safe trying anymore. They don't feel safe fighting. They felt like I fought enough. And every time I fought, I lost. And every time I fought, I felt embarrassed. And every time I fought, I got hurt. And no one was there. I'm not fighting no more. Fight for what? Fight to be heard. Nobody's listening, so I'm not talking. This is where you get that man from. I'm not talking no more because nobody listening anyway. What I got to what I ain't got nothing to say. I'm a man of few words because you ain't listening anyway. See, this is a curse, and it skips generations. So if you're dealing with the generational curse of wrath, because that's the curse. Wrath, rage, anger, wrath. Men who had to deal with wrath, right? And wrath don't always have to be you getting abused in the house. No, wrath could be the shit you experience from life. You may have not had an abusive parent, but if you grew up during slavery time, during time of segregation, you had a lot of wrath in you. A lot of the men walked around a shell of themselves. Not just because what was happening in the house, what was going on outside the house. My parents was born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s. In New York City, do you know my father, when he went to junior high school, my grandparents had to move him to another junior high school because they didn't want my dad going to school in the neighborhood. So they sent him out by Coney Island, where them Russians is at. Yeah, the Russian mob and the Italians is out there, out in Bay Ridge, Coney, all out there. My father went to junior high school out there. Him and his friends used to get chased to the train station every day by white boys. They used to throw rocks, all of that. Beat them with pipes. And my father had to get all the way back home because he lived on one side of Brooklyn and his school was at the end of Brooklyn. See, if you know anything about Brooklyn or New York, Coney Island is the last stop. Coney Island. So you got to go back to get home. So imagine getting chased home. You got to run 2 miles to the train station because white boys chasing you, all calling you all types of racial epithets and throwing rocks and hitting y'all with sticks. My father had to go through that. You know what type of wrath that creates? And then you coming in a house poor. See, it ain't just about what's happening in your house. It's about life. It's about life. And nobody considers what a man goes through in his life. See, that's never mentioned. Just listen to these people when they talk about relationships. They never tell women to consider what a man been through. They always tell a man, man, you always got to think about that woman. But she ain't never got to think about you in a certain way. She only got to think about you when it comes to the basics. She ain't got to think about the shit that helped create your personality. She ain't got to worry about that. That ain't her concern. That ain't her problem. But her shit is your problem, right? Because as a man, right, you supposed to problem solve as a man. But as a man, I'm not even allowed to share a level of intimacy with my woman. And we're going to talk about this on later show. Men are less intimate nowadays because we don't feel emotionally safe. Because I'm always told that I'm a man, so I'm not supposed to feel this way. I'm a man, so I'm not supposed to think this way. Oh, what type of man feel like this? What type of, see, all that gaslighting shit makes men do two things. It's going to make a man back up. Or if a man feels constantly attacked, he's going to attack himself. He's going to attack in return. And y'all have to understand that this is human nature. This don't got nothing to do with men being abusive and all of that shit that y'all like to make up. That don't got nothing to do with that. Y'all don't understand human nature. Y'all don't understand conditioning, social conditioning. Do you know that there's some men that was raised like all the other men in their family? Do you know some men that come from a long line of men that's used to being abused? Do you know that? Verbally abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, financially abused, physically abused. There's a lot of men out here that come from men who get abused. So you gotta understand how the psyche, how psychology works. You don't put a man in an environment that's oppressive, then beat on him, shame him, put him down, and expect him to walk upright. It don't work like that. It's not psychology. That's not how psychology works. That's not how it works. That's not how a human is properly developed. See, y'all think a man is some shit. It's some rejected creation that whatever happens to him, he's just supposed to always rise to the occasion. That is not sensible. See, the way y'all even look at men don't even make sense. You think a man is supposed to rise above every fucking thing because you don't understand psychology and human development. How much more shit you think I could take before I collapse? Oh, I'm never supposed to collapse because I'm a man. No, you sound stupid. You sound dumb. You see this? We're talking about breaking the cycle of generational pain. You see, now we got people who would minimize what you went through as a man. They will minimize it. Oh, so what? You a man. You hear that? You hear that shit? But guess what, y'all? We didn't hear that the first time you said it. Some of us been hearing that since we was 4. The first time we fell and cut ourselves and started crying. And we was told to shut up and stop that crying because you a boy and boys don't cry. We heard that from 4 years old. Every time somebody be mean to us, every time somebody hurt our feelings, every time somebody step on us, every time somebody embarrass us, it's always be quiet, you a boy. Don't cry. That's why he don't feel no emotions when he black out and he harms someone. See, y'all got to understand that monsters are created. Monsters are built. These men, they were created. This is why he don't think twice when he snap your neck. Because it hurts him to do what he's about to do to you. But guess what he was told his whole life? Suck it up. So I'm going to suck it up when I snap your neck. Because it's going to hurt me to hurt you. But guess what I've learned? To suppress what hurts me. So I'm going to suppress the hurt that comes from me hurting you. You see how this works? You see how this works? You see how this works? Now I'm going to suppress how it feels when I hurt someone else because I'm taught to suppress what hurts me. So if I got to suppress what hurts me, why should I feel some type of way when I hurt you? See, this is psychology. Something that a lot of you people don't understand. Y'all don't understand that. You don't understand psychology. You only understand what you think is right and wrong. You don't know what's going on up here because you don't know what's going on up here with you. You don't know how to evaluate this for you. So how you going to tell a man how he should think? How you going to tell a man how he should be? How you going to tell a man how he should think? But I get it. You've been doing this. It's common for you to tell a man what he's not supposed to do, even though you don't even know what to do with your life. Even though you haven't came to an aha moment for your own life. And people grow up doing this to men. Other men do it. See, y'all think I'm, oh, he going in on with. No, men do it too. These bozos that come on YouTube and try to pretend like they got all they shit, they do it too. Where they disregard the conditioning of a boy. See, they disregard what happened to them and what happened to other little boys. See, because they was raised that way. You was raised to not think about yourself in that way. It's called self-care. You was taught not to care about yourself outside of your external, outside of how cute you are and what you drive and where you work and where you live. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about yourself. You really don't feel like a champion. You're just talking like that because how it appears, how it appears to others, not to you. See, this is why do y'all think so many men are saying what they saying? Why you think so many men are unhappy in marriages? Because this is the problem. The internal shit. It ain't got nothing to do with their wife. These men be having great women. It don't have nothing to do with their wife. It be the shit that they've constantly ignored. Things that was going on within them. Trauma that they haven't addressed. That they think dressing nice and living a good life is going to somehow supersede those feelings. You think getting your shit together is going to supersede those feelings. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. And guess what we do? We teach boys to repress. And this is why we have the generational curse of depression. And this is why over time you got generations of men who don't want to build. Who don't want to build. Men are burning out earlier because this stuff is not being addressed. It's not all the superficial stuff that y'all like to talk about. No, these are internal issues. These are internal issues. That's why men checking out. Love Wisdom says men need to be taught that you can't lead with your wallet. People won't remember you by your money. They'll remember you by your character. That's why we here, Love Wisdom. That was the reason for me. Coming to the manosphere. But guess what I was met with? Guess what I was met with? Exactly. What up, T Church? Darryl Richardson says, doesn't it start with boys fighting? We always knew who the strongest kid in the group was. Then we took it to sports. Yeah. Outrageous TV in the building. Salute, my brother. Outrageous says, society has men thinking about taking care of everybody else except ourselves. Exactly. That is the measure of a man. The measure of a man in the world is how he can sacrifice himself for the greater good of everyone else. How I can make sure everyone else is happy, everything else is taken care of, and I'll just deal with whatever I'm left to deal with. You see this? Club says these are internal issues that have slowly and increasingly been spilling out and causing negative consequences. Exactly. Like heart failure, like cancer. You got to notice men are developing cancer earlier. Do you know cancer and all the beginning of diseases start with your thoughts and how you see yourself? Do you know that, brothers? Dis-ease begins with how you feel about yourself. And having on a nice outfit don't give you self-worth. It don't give you confidence. Confidence comes from in here. Self-worth comes from in here. It don't come from Amiri clothes. It don't come from Pradas. It don't come from that. It don't come from that. It doesn't. Good morning, Miss Camille. Good to see you, love. Good to see you. We got, I think, 7 lovely lady mods in here this morning. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much, Miss Camille. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Facts, let alone self-deletion and statistical negative effects. Exactly. Exactly. But nobody cares to listen to men speak to men about man shit. This is why I be telling y'all a lot of these conversations are not male conversations. They're female driven. I'm not here to have a female driven conversation. I'd rather let women do that. I'm not here to have a female driven conversation. I'm not here to wet the whiskers of women. I don't care what you think about me. Number one, I got a woman. So I'm not here to make you feel good this morning because you woke up feeling bad. That ain't my job. To my woman, that's my job, not to all women. See, a lot of y'all be wanting men to come up here and be your spokesperson. I'm not your spokesperson. I speak for men, for real. I'm not here to speak for women. Women can speak for themselves. You see? And I encourage my woman to speak for herself. She's a grown-up. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to powder the butts of women. I don't do that. Because men need this shit. When women got all the support groups they need, they don't need no men getting up here advocating and pushing shit for them. They got agencies and all types of initiatives for them. This is the problem with men. Men afraid to do some shit for themselves. And when you do shit for other brothers, you're advocating for yourself. You're advocating for your sons. You're advocating for your grandsons. You know, the same ones that's supposed to lead the women. So if he's not properly conditioned to lead the woman, then why the hell you sitting there talking to the women? Why you sitting there talking to them? When you should be instilling the leadership and restoring the correct character in men to be the leaders for these women. We don't need to be talking to them. They got enough men, women, and transsexuals talking to them. What the hell we need to be talking to them for? That's the problem with you men. You're scared to talk to men about man shit. We ain't got enough men doing that. We got too much men wanting to talk to women about woman shit. They got Storm Monroe, nigga. They got Storm Monroe for that. They got Armand Wiggins for that. What they need you for? We need you over here, brother. We need more brothers advocating and standing up for boys. They got Red Table Talk. Okay? They got Tasha K. They got all the shit that they need. They got all the bullshit and the good shit. Men don't want to focus on men. But y'all always steel sharpen steel. When? When steel sharpen steel? When you telling me how to get a woman? When do steel sharpen steel? Huh? All you do is give game to women. All you do is advocate for women. When does steel sharpen steel? What you talking about? What you talking about? This is why the cycle can't be broken. You don't break the cycle by becoming what the conditioner wanted you to become. That's not breaking the cycle. See, you got to, and this is why I wanted to do this show. Because you have generational curse breakers, and then you have generational curse carriers. See, every man is not a curse breaker. This is why they say every man is not a leader. Because if you are a leader and if you are at the forefront of something, that means you're standing against something. You're standing for something and you're standing against something that's against what you're for. So a curse carrier is not a leader. A person who's going to lead you to your destruction isn't a leader. They're a follower too. You just choosing to follow a follower. You ain't following a leader. See, a curse breaker is a leader. Because a curse breaker has to be original. A curse breaker has to be authentic. A curse breaker has to be at the forefront of things. We don't follow trends. We be ourselves. We don't even look to set trends. We be ourselves. You see, I'm not trying to create a look or have this look for no, I'm me. I'm me. That's the look. Purity. That's what you see. That's what you see. I'm not no decorated, dressed. I'm not a character. I'm not dressed up and bedazzled and no, I'm not. That's not me. I'm a curse breaker, not a carrier. So I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm not. Am I entertaining? Yes, I can be. But am I here for your entertainment? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I'm not a curse carrier. I'm not here to be fly and cute on camera. And see if you like me and if I'm fly. I don't care about that shit. I'm not a curse carrier. That's carrying a curse of goofy silliness. All that shit gonna get thrown in the trash when you're dead. I ain't walking around. I don't care about no goddamn clothes and all that shit. All that shit gonna go in the garbage. Clothes, shoes, all that shit gonna go in the trash or given to charity. See, I don't live my life for that. So I don't express myself that way. That doesn't come through my personality. Being some fly nigga. That ain't me. That's not me. You see that? Because I'm a curse breaker. I don't carry the curse. So I'm not here to impress you. See that? I'm not here so you can say, oh yeah, he right. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for you to always say, I like him. Some days you not gonna like me. Some days you're not gonna like me. Because that's me. That's me. Hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all give me a second. I'll be right back, okay? I'll be right back. I gotta go take care of something. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, get the thumbs up. I'll be right back. Y'all give me a second. Okay, we back. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys can hear me. We back. We're back. So as I was saying, shout out to Too Strong for Life. Too Strong for Life in the building. Appreciate you. Shout out to my brother Bucket. Day one. Shout out to my brother Bucket in the building. Day one supporter. Shout out to Headbanger Video. What's going on, Headbanger? But as I was saying, what's up, Water and Cat? As I was saying, you have men who are generational curse breakers, and then you have men who are generational curse carriers. So you have men who carry the curse from generation to generation, and then you have men who decide to get rid of the curse. Okay? So all of that is usually displayed in how we represent ourselves, the type of men that we are. That's attached to our purpose. See, because every man is not here to build. Every man is not here to do what they say or what God say men are supposed to do. Every man is not here for that. Every man doesn't even come with that in them. Every man wasn't taught that. Every man wasn't taught that every man has a purpose. Some men was just taught, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. And the men who usually don't know their purpose, they're usually the curse carriers. Hey, Sin. Shout out to the cynical one in the building. We got 7 lovely lady mods in here today. Is it 7? Shout out to you, Sin. Good to see you. What's up, Smitty? You see? So a lot of what we see going on with men, these are men who are curse carriers. All this stuff going on with these athletes, all this stuff going on in the music, these are curse carrying men. This is why we say that those men had to what? Sell their souls. They gave into the curse. And they said that I'm not going to go against the world and break the curse. I'm not going to go against the devil who's had a hold on the men in my family. I'm going to join the devil because it'll give me an easier life. I'll have access, but no authority in my life. I'll have access to all, like when the devil tried to tempt Jesus and said, listen, I'll give you reign over, you can have all this. You can have all this. Just follow me. These are your generational curse carriers. Your P. Diddy's. Your Zion Williamsons, your Shannon Sharps, all them freaky little weirdo men. These are your curse carriers. You see, Shannon Sharp just gave up generational wealth because of a perversion. He's a curse carrier. He's a carrier. He's a carrier. He's a carrier. That's what he is. Jay-Z, carrier. He never knew his father. He got a grown-ass man out here that just want to find out if he his dad because his mama told him Jay-Z was his father. And you got a bunch of other fatherless men on the internet attacking this young man and saying disgraceful things about his mother because these are fatherless men. See, fatherless men, they don't mind attacking single mothers. Yeah. Attacking them. Oh, she probably lied to him. Talking about Ramir. Jay-Z is quote unquote a billionaire, but he wants to ignore this boy, who the public has already said is his son, because he looked just like Jay-Z. If you look at younger pictures of Jay-Z and look at Ramir, he looked just like the boy. And he looked like one of Jay-Z's nephews. Yeah. So what kind of man? What kind of man ignores his child? A curse carrier. A curse carrier. A little boy who grew up so hurt about him not having a daddy. He grew up and felt like he's still everything he wanted to be. And so what? He didn't have a daddy. We hear men say that right now. Yeah, I didn't grow up with my dad, but I'm more of a man than him. How you know, nigga? You never met him. How you know you more of a man than your father? How you know that? You don't even know him. And if you grew up more than a man than him, why you grow up talking down about him? See this? These are curse carriers. You don't even know that your daddy was a curse carrier. That's why he left you. Because his daddy left him, and his daddy left him, and his daddy left him. We come from a generation of that shit. A lot of y'all don't even know that. You come from a long line of deadbeat boys. Because, see, a lot of you niggas will run out on your sons, but you won't run out on that little girl. See, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about how the father will leave the little boy with the mother and try to take the little girl. See, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Who protects the little boy? When does daddy come and protect the little boy? When does daddy come and show the little boy, you gonna be me one day, son? How many of y'all do that? None of y'all. None of y'all. You niggas say, oh, everything is about these. No, you niggas make it about these women. I watch you niggas do it. Watch you niggas do it. You make it about these women. You make it about them. And that's how you raise your son. That's how you condition that boy, because that's how you was conditioned. You was conditioned the same way. This is generational pain. This is why these young boys is growing up. I don't want a girlfriend. And he might end up with a boyfriend. You wonder how this is happening? Because you're conditioning boys to not even love themselves, or to have a distorted, perverted love of themselves. This is how they end up loving other boys. See that? Because you don't teach them how to deal with itself healthy. I'm talking to the men. I'm not talking to no women. A lot of you men teach your sons to be inferior to women, to kiss women's ass. Do you know what that tells a boy? That he ain't shit and he's after everyone else. He's last. He gets the scraps. That's what that tells him. But you don't care about that because a lot of y'all was raised the same way. So you're not teaching your son to love himself. That's why a lot of men don't love themselves, because we don't know how. We think it's wrong. We think it's wrong to love ourselves. Loving yourself ain't going to get a haircut, nigga. Loving yourself ain't buying a new outfit. You're talking about loving yourself. See, that's not taught to little boys. That's taught to the little girl. It's her job to love herself. She's supposed to love herself. She's supposed to care about herself. But what about the little boy? He not supposed to? Because that's not taught to him in school. Where that's at in the curriculum? Huh? Where's that at? Where's that taught at in the family dynamic? That the little boy's supposed to love himself. That the little boy's supposed to take time and decompress himself. That ain't taught to little boys. We're not supposed to process our feelings. We're supposed to shut up and get the fuck over it. That's what boys are told. Get over it. You know what that little girl is told? Cry. It's okay to cry. You know when they tell us it's okay to cry? When we old ass men. That's when it becomes okay to cry. When you're 40, 50 fucking years old, now you could cry. Now you could feel all that shit. Now it's okay. It wasn't okay when I was 4. It wasn't okay when I was 5. It wasn't okay because I had to get up and keep going. I had to learn how to be a man. But when I'm 50, 60 years old, I could cry my fucking life away. Now I can feel all this shit when I don't want to, when I shouldn't have to. I'm 60 years old. I'm supposed to be happy. Nobody talks about that with the man. Huh? Nope. Nobody talks about how the men are just left out there on their own to figure it out. Because that's what men's supposed to do. They just left to figure it out. And everything will be okay. See that? A man can never talk about his abandonment issues. Because if a man talks about him being abandoned, he's weak. Oh, you're a weak ass nigga. Why you think he abandoned his fucking family? Why you think he abandoned his family? So everybody can abandon me, but I can't leave nobody. But everybody can leave me. Everybody could say, fuck me and fuck how I feel, but I'm never supposed to do that to people. Because if I do that, then I'm abusive. Oh, but when it was done to me, I'm just a boy. And I'm just supposed to accept it. That wasn't abuse. I wasn't accepting abuse. See that? I'm not too good to accept abuse. Nobody tells the little boy, you shouldn't have to deal with this. Nobody tells us this. This shit turns into anger. Because nobody's telling us, everyone's telling us, shut up and deal with it. It's nothing we could do. It's nowhere we can go. What do you think this shit turns into? And then we grow up and get older and start dealing with women, and the women saying the same shit. Well, just get over it, nigga. Okay, this is how I'm gonna get over it. Bye. How about that? This is why you're dealing with this is why you're getting a response from the men. Because you're not understanding what he's dealing with. Okay. So I just got to deal with your bullshit, right? Okay. How about this? See you later. See you later. How about that? And the men that stay, guess what they end up doing? They end up on first 48. They end up on first 48 for unaliving his whole fucking family. Yeah. 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 Cause all the disrespect and all the manipulation and all the gaslighting, we just supposed to deal with. You don't even know that man been dealing with that shit for 30 years. You don't even know that. And guess what? A lot of y'all don't even care. You don't even care. This is why this stuff keeps happening from generation to generation to generation. Because nobody stopped to look and to care. Well, guess what? That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, fellas. I'm here to care. All these other niggas don't have to. All these other niggas don't have to. That's why I'm here. To show brothers I know what's going on. And I love you for real, my brother. I don't love you for fake. I don't love you for fake. I love you for real. Because I know what you're going through. I know what you've been through because I've been through it. And don't never let nobody try to lessen what the fuck you been through. Because that's what they'll do too. To try to basically lessen how you supposed to feel about it. See that? Oh, but this, but that, but this, but to lessen how you supposed to feel what the fuck happened to you. They don't do that to girls. They don't do that. They don't teach little girls to just suck up negativity their whole life. Oh, you got punched in your face by another little boy. Suck it up. Stop crying. This is what happens. You won't tell no little girl that. Do you know boys get jumped by other groups of boys? Get attacked. Oh, it's okay. It's part of being a boy. Getting jumped on by 4 or 5 other boys? That's natural. That's okay. No, that shit is traumatizing, but it's not taught like that. It's not taught like that. You know what it's taught? Get over it. Get over it. You might get jumped again. This is the type of sick shit boys gotta hear. We talking about little boys. They don't even tell us this type of shit when we grown. They tell us this shit when we little boys. And then wonder why our default setting is anger. Wondering why. You wonder why. You wonder why. Because it's a cycle. This is a cycle. Because the same thing that happened to you happened to your father, happened to your uncles, happened to your grandfather. Same shit. It ain't just happening to you. It happened to the men before you. Because you're a splitting image of those men. That's why they have to shut you down. That's why it's been a cycle of shutting that energy down. Because that's the energy that breaks the curse. not being afraid to confront the shit, not being afraid to speak. That's what destroys it. But you know what they do? When you little, shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. See, that's the devil. Shutting you down because they know you the curse breaker. You there to put all this crazy shit into perspective so we could do something about it. That's why they tell you, shut up. We don't want to hear that. Shut up. That's the devil. That ain't nothing but the devil. Shutting you down because that spirit knows who you are. They know why God gave you the voice he gave you and the tone that it has. You ain't got that voice for nothing. It's for you to command evil away from you. But they want you to use your voice to keep the evil coming. They want you to use the voice that the command the demons. Come on, guys, let's get drunk together. Come on, guys, let's party together. Come on, come on. No. 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 God didn't give you that voice of authority to sit around and be some cute ass nigga and just use your voice to arouse women. No. It's for you to call out wickedness. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. It ain't there to just, oh, he has a nice voice. Oh, his voice is sexy. See, that's for them carriers. That's for them carriers. That's for them carriers. See? But let's get to this video. Let's get to this video, and then we're going to wrap up this morning show because we be back. We be back. We be back. Let's get to this video real quick.
At least I'll speak on my behalf, that the men in my life are either angry in the way they express their emotion or they're silent.
You heard that? She said the men in her life, with their anger, they either this way or they're silent. Now watch how this man breaks it down. Because see, remember, I said this already. You got men who become recluse, or you have men that become reckless. Thank you, Ms. L'Oreal. Now let's listen what this brother has to say. Shout out to Jason Wilson.
Is that pretty typical?
Those are safe. You can't
Those are safe. Listen.
be weak. You can't be soft. You can't be a simp, as they say. If you're just angry, if you're silent, you look stoic now. Oh, he must be strong because nothing ever phases him. And so men, anger is a very safe emotion to express. When our feelings are hurt, we're angry. When we're sad, we're angry. When we lose, we're angry. It's a surface emotion. That's why I tell men to dig deep. What are you really feeling? And I can compare it to masculinity, to the crayon analogy in this book. As men, we stay within the 8 box of crayons, okay?
Yeah.
And we may pull out 4. Women have 64.
That's why we confuse you so much, Jason.
But this is interesting. We were created for all of those emotions. They're not exclusive to you. It's there, but we've been hoodwinked by allowing society to define what a man is. And so when women are communicating with us, they may pull out, I'll use an analogy of the color violet, and all we have is purple. We
Right.
can't meet the moment. Or even more complex issues, they ask for lime, and we're trying to put green and yellow together. And because men, we're not used to expressing the gamut of emotions that we have as human beings, we can't meet the moment.
What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? Shout out to Miss Country Girl Queena in the building. Thank you, Miss Queena. Shout out to you as one of my lovely lady mods that always come through and hold it down, and you always showing your financial support as well. Thank you for the super chat. Miss Country Girl Queena says, another great live, DS1. I'll catch the replay later. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as always, Queena, and enjoy your day. Happy Friday. Shout out to my brother Vanden Van. What's up, my brother? It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I hope all is well, bro. He says, salute, brother. Salute to you, my brother. I appreciate your support as always, bro. Salute to you, man. Happy Friday to you. Hope all is well. Shout out to FTC in the building. What's up, FTC? Salute. Love Wisdom says, there it is. Club says, very accurate. Yeah, he used. He's talking about, you know, the crayon box. She said 64 crayons. He was basically using the analogy of saying that women are basically taught and conditioned to express their emotions and their feelings, and they're taught to express it as far as, and he used the example of colors. So for instance, where a woman may be expressing herself as the color violet, is men, being that we only use a 8-box pack of crayons, right? We only see violet as purple. Yes, the right to express multiple emotions. Yeah, yeah. So when y'all see violet, we see purple. When y'all see maroon, we see red. You see? That's what he's actually saying. Yes, emotional intelligence. Absolutely, NICU grad. And emotional expression. And emotional expression. Women have a easier time expressing themselves emotionally from a more broader perspective than men. The crayons represent the emotional spectrum. Absolutely. Too strong for life. We have emotional options. Absolutely, Key to T, where we think we don't. Because we don't even know how to feel. We don't even know if we should feel. So this is why he said we'll operate out of the eight box of crayons. And out of those 8 crayons, we would still only use 4. So out of those 8 emotions, we would probably only use half of them. Because number one, we wasn't taught to use any of them correctly. So like he said, anger is safe for us because anger doesn't make us look weak. So we think. So we think. So we think. Because anger can bring you to your knees. I know this myself. Again, repression creates depression. Anger creates anxiety. Anger can create a level of anxiousness, which creates anxiety. You see? So with anger being our safe space to express, because it's not safe for us to express us being hurt. A lot of us men are afraid to just say, yo, I'm hurt. The way that we say I'm hurt is by being mad. That's how we express, most men, this is how we express us. This is how we express all of our emotions. To the ladies that's in relationships and marriages, and you may live with your man. You and your man live together, right? If y'all may not did y'all thing in a couple days, right? Y'all haven't been sexually intimate in a few days, and your husband walking around the house on edge. What's the first thing you gonna think? He mad because he ain't getting none. When it ain't that he mad because he ain't getting none, he's showing that he mad, but the real anger is not, it's the real emotion, is not anger. He feel lonely. He feel abandoned. That's the real emotion. But we can't say that. What I look like telling you I feel abandoned? Now I feel like a sucker. Now I feel soft. Now I feel like I can't flex when I'm ready. Because you're going to remind me, nigga, you just told me you was abandoned. And you got women who do this to men. You have women who do this to men. This is why it's safer for us to express hurt as anger, to express fear as anger. He tight. See? now see, and I see you, Grad. Honestly, I'm at a point where I could still laugh and see certain things differently, even when having these conversations, and women are a part of them. Because years ago, I wasn't this. I would have got mad at you for cracking jokes because I'm being serious. I'm gonna just say that, and I see you, Grad. I was that type of dude because I really didn't have control over a lot of my emotions. And I would take everything personal. I would personalize everything. You see? '87 says, express your mind in a Diddy's party. Oh, yeah, I know he got an Uber. Love Wisdom says, men don't want to suppress their emotions, but society forces them to. Once it explodes, society blames them for not having emotional intelligence. Exactly. This is exactly what happens, Love Wisdom. Exactly what happens. This is exactly what happens. Third says, the epitome and the definition of between a rock and a hard place. Love Wisdom says, that's a good point, DS1. When you have men that are sex addicts, it's not the sex, it's the lack of intimacy. A hug or a conversation, a place of vulnerability is what he needed. Exactly. 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 Because guess what? Whether y'all ladies believe it or not, men want to be wanted too. You see? A man want to feel like he's wanted too. Because guess what women do? You let your man know when you want your man in that way. It ain't nothing for y'all to, do what y'all do. But it just seemed like you just walking past me. You don't see my signs. you don't see what I'm doing. Now when I'm walking around the house, one word answers, what's wrong with you? Also, you didn't see all the other signs, but you see this one. You notice my silence, but you don't hear me when I'm talking. You don't see the signs until I walk away. See this? This is the misunderstanding. This is the misunderstanding. Hey, JB. Good morning. JB says, it's confusing with men. When you show some men affection, we get pushed away. Absolutely. Because those are men who are afraid of connection. Because of some stuff they've been through. And then some men are they're just at a point where they're not good for relationships, period. Shout out to my comrade Po Boy Films in the building. Salute my brother. He says, very true. We're more than just penetration and a paycheck. That's how a lot of men get treated. Especially the good guys. And when I say a good guy, I'm not talking about somebody that's going to give you whatever you want. That's super nice. That's not a good guy. A lot of dudes be acting. A good guy is a guy who leads with his intentions. That's a good guy. We're more than just penetration and a paycheck. We're more than that. We're more than just giving you a good word to encourage you. We need that too. We need to know how much we cared about and how much we loved, and we want to feel it too, because we human. Because we're human, just like you are. We're human. Shout out to Van and Van for doubling up. Van says, you're the only brother that I know speaks on black men's pain. The other men get on YouTube and talk down on us. That's why I appreciate your streams. Salute to you, my brother. Salute, man. That's why I'm here, bro. Salute. L'Oreal says, I can't say I was raised like a boy, but to listen / look more than to speak, if y'all get what I'm saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. When are you having the connection live about love? At 3 p.m. Love Wisdom. 3 p.m. I had to reschedule yesterday. 3 p.m. So we'll be back. We'll be back. NICU Grass says, my love has a delayed reaction. We had a conversation and I might not know how he really feels a day or two later. He has to think about it and come back. Okay, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with coming back and revisiting a conversation. That has nothing to do with dismissing someone else. It has nothing to do with it. You see? But I definitely wanted to come through this morning and speak about this, man, because as men, fellas, right? Based on the type of man that you are, and I don't know what type of man you are, because I don't know who's listening, right? But if you always knew, excuse me, that you never fit into what people call the norm, then you're actually a generational curse breaker. And you're actually the type of man that is designed to better the legacy of your family. So you have a deeper connection, right, to things that other men may not understand. See, these types of conversations, generational curse carrying men, they'll think that this is a conversation that don't even need to be had, or it ain't that deep, just get to the bag and everything will be okay. Like those men that talk like that, those are carriers. Those are men who are not going to change anything in a family. Those are men who haven't changed anything in a family. You see? See, P. Diddy, he's not going to change anything in his family because his sons are just like him. You see? Riches and money and all of that, that's not going to change the curse. Because see, some of y'all come from them hustling ass niggas. Because I do. Both of my grandfathers was hustlers. Both of them. But guess what they knew? They knew that somewhere down the line, a man got to break the curse. So guess what my grandfathers always told me? My grandfather always told, go to school, boy. Go to school. Break the curse. My mother's father didn't go to school. My father's father didn't go to school. That's why I had to go. Break the curse, son. Break the curse. Don't let the streets distract you, because that's what I did. I wasted time thinking I was one of them niggas. I thought I was like the bros on the block. Don't waste your time. You're not them. You're not them. And guess what? If you able to live after they cross you, they're going to show you you're not like them. That's why they cross you, because you're not like them. Not that you're better than them. You're not like them. And they always knew that. You just didn't know. See, I didn't know that. So I wasted a lot of time. That could have been time breaking the curse. Breaking the curse. But I had to go through all of that to realize that I was here to break the curse. Because when my father used to tell me that, I didn't know what he was talking about. Son, you're going to be better than me. Son, you're here to be better than me. You're here to do more than me. I never understood that shit. He was telling me that when I was little. Like this how he used to talk to me. When I was a little baby, a little boy. Son, you're going to be better than me. I'm going to make sure you be better than your dad. You're going to know more than your dad. You're going to be smarter than your dad. You're going to be stronger than your dad. Son, you got to break the curse. Son, you got to change the trajectory of this family. Heal before we build. See that? Generational curse breakers. Breaking the cycle of generational pain in men. You come from a long line of gangsters. You come from a long line of angry men. You come from a long line of aggressive men. You know, some of the men had to be aggressive because that's how they handle business. See, my other grandfather was like that. Both of my grandfathers was like that. But my other grandfather, he was more like that. My mother's father, he was more, yeah, he was one of those. That's how he took care of business. Because that's how he had to put food on the table. Because that's the conditions he was left to deal with. He died young too. Young, handsome man, grandfather in the casket. Because nobody thought about his mental health. That shit breaks down your body. Nobody thought about that. Because it was all about surviving. See that? I'm here to teach brothers, it ain't about surviving, it's about living. You wasn't born to survive. You ain't no goddamn plant. Oh, if you survive. No, that's not human life. You're not put here to survive. You're put here to live. Society told men that you have to do things to just survive. And that's why we always angry. Because we on edge. Because we in survival mode. Because we've been so used to just barely making it and accepting it. Then how can I be happy? How can I smile? Smile for what? What is there to smile about? I'm just surviving. How you know I ain't tired of surviving this shit? See, nobody asks me that. Because you just supposed to not give up because you a man. See, nobody don't ask that. You've been surviving this shit for 40 years. 40 years you've been surviving depression. 40 years you've been repressing your feelings. For 40 goddamn years. Oh, so we never supposed to get tired. Oh, so your battery don't die. Huh? The battery don't die? When you're constantly pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, ain't even got time to charge. You ain't even got no time to charge. Every time he try to charge, you know y'all people that can't let your phone charge. You put the shit on a charger, as soon as you get to 25%, you take it back off and get on the phone. That's how y'all treat men. We can't even charge. We can't build nothing. As soon as it look like he got, let me get that. Let me get, oh yeah. Because a nigga can't have nothing. Because by the time a nigga die, he's supposed to die with nothing and leave nobody nothing. So they could tell a story of he wasn't nothing. That's the whole point. That's the whole goddamn point. So whenever they want to talk shit and talk down about you, they could say, well, he ain't died with nothing. He ain't leave nobody shit. See that? That's how they do men. That's how they do men. And a woman could die with nothing. They'll never say she died broke. They'll never say she died broke and talk down about that woman. But it's conditioned in everybody's mind to talk shit about that man. To talk shit about him. Even when he was a good man. Even when you was a good man. If you ain't leave somebody $1 million, you wasn't a good man. You wasn't good enough. You wasn't good enough. That's how it always been for me. That's how it always been. I could go and rob a goddamn bank and a jewelry store for your ass. it ain't enough because that's what you're supposed to do. We got to break that cycle, fellas. You got to break that cycle. You ain't here to impress nobody. You ain't here to prove shit to nobody either. Either they see it, they recognize it and get on board, or they miss the goddamn boat. That's how we got to start moving, fellas, because it's our job to break curses. It ain't our job to make nobody fucking happy. Where that say that in the Bible at? Huh? That it's my job to make you happy and to make you content. No. No, it's my job to come here and break these curses. That's the calling God put on my life, to break the generational curses in my family for men. We got to live longer. We got to live longer. Generational curses like diseases. Yeah, heart disease, cancer. Got to break that type of shit. Because that's the stuff that leads to a shorter what? Lifespan. We already know based on societal proof that most men who do things the right way, they don't become financially successful till their 40s. Do you know most men start developing terminal illnesses in their 40s? So the years that you're supposed to be getting to that bag and being successful, your ass sick. You got diabetes. See that shit? See that? See that? Nobody don't think about that. Most successful men become successful in their 40s. This is when the real money comes. If you're doing something legal. Most successful men, they're not successful in their 20s. See, that's a lie. That's TV. Most men aren't successful in their 30s. You know when they hit success? 40s. Because all the things that they was working on and the careers that they was working in, that's when they start hitting those numbers. They start hitting them peaks in our 40s. Now, if we sick through our 40s, what happened? What happened? We've been angry from 13 to 33. Now your ass 41. And you got to take a heart pill. You talking about men. This does what to us as men? It does what? It affects our output. We can't produce. And guess what they say? If this happens to men, oh, that's a man's fault. See that shit? A lot of y'all was taught to blame everything on men. You don't even technically blame yourself because you hold yourself accountable for shit. A lot of y'all do that shit because you was taught by women to do. You repeat what you heard women say. See that? This is why a lot of y'all don't know how to address the real problems and address the psychological conditioning. Because you don't even know you part of a cycle, a generational curse. You don't even know, man. But that's why you tuned in to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And that's why y'all tuned into today's show. So shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to everyone, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up this morning. Salute to y'all. We will be back at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all get back here. Y'all get back here, man. We're going to have another real conversation. Another real conversation. Another real conversation. So shout out to everyone. Salute to my lovely lady mods for coming through this morning and holding it down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Shout out to Miss JB. Thank you, JB. JB says, I was raised like a boy, so I also express everything with anger. Shout out to Miss JB. Thank you, JB. I appreciate you. Shout out to everyone, man. Like I said, we will be back. We will be back 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So make sure y'all set y'all bell notifications. If you enjoyed today's show, don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you notify every time we drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I need y'all to get down in the comment section. You already know, my brother. You already know. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you, Q Sims. Shout out to everyone, man. But make sure y'all get back here 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have another great show lined up for you guys. Also, I'm going to, I got some announcements for you guys. So y'all make sure y'all get back here 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to get to it, y'all. We're going to get to it. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And once again, shout out to y'all if y'all supported today's show. Salute to everyone, man. I appreciate y'all time this morning. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.